Chongmu is actually Admiral Song Shin Lee of the Lee dynasty. He was in charge of the naval operations. Admiral Lee anticipated the Japanese invasion and, in preparation, had his armed forces trained for war. When a conflict arose between the Japanese Empire and the Lee dynasty, he led his battleships. Anytime he battled a Japanese ship, he was victorious. He had designed his ships to be able to go against the Japanese ships in a way that they couldn't. Admiral Lee was imprisoned and almost sentenced to death. The king pronounced Admiral Lee on November 8, 1598. Admiral Lee was shot to death during a sea battle against the Japanese Navy. He died at the age of 54. Hwarang was the name of a national institute which trained its youth for times of national needs. They were trained to improve their moral principles and military skills. The youth were taught to be brave, to love their country, and to be cooperative. The 5 leadership qualities of Hwarang were as follows: A. Allegiance to the king. B. Faithfulness to their parents. C. Faithful friendships. D. Prohibition against the killing of animals. And E. No retreat from battlefield. Wan Yo was the most renowned Buddhist monk of the Silla dynasty. He was recognized as a great scholar by the Tang dynasty of China. Wan Yo traveled around the country and taught Buddhism to the people. As an example to the people, he lived as he preached. Yoguk was the pen name of Master Yi, a great scholar of the Yi dynasty. He worked for the government. Later on in his life, he resigned from the government and then devoted himself to writing. He also maintained an army of 100,000 soldiers. Chungun is the name of a man who fought against the Japanese Empire for Korean independence and eventually died for his country. In 1905, when Korea was invaded and colonized by Japan, Chungun sacrificed himself. Chungun was eventually arrested and then he was executed at the age of 32. Taege, otherwise known as Hwan Li, was a great Confucian philosopher. At the time of the Lee dynasty, he resigned from his government service and returned to his hometown, where he became a scholar. He founded the Dosan Learning Institute, where he spent the rest of his life educating his young disciples. His interpretation of Confucianism, known as Taege, it is today the subject of study in both Western and Eastern worlds.